All right, Lan, let's rock.
Awesome. Great. Welcome, everybody, to April of 2025 monthly consortium briefing. That's crazy to say. The first quarter is behind us. Before we get into the quote here, all of you guys set targets, and Andrews might hit on this a little bit later, but I'm not going to say names, but some people through the first quarter of 2025, 159% of the target, 131% of their target, 104%, 84%, 85%, 80%, 78%, 75%, 71%. It's been a really good first quarter for a lot of folks out there. So I want to say congratulations on that. And that's a pretty awesome way to start the monthly consortium briefing. Also, let's start with this quote. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Martin Luther King Jr. And I was just thinking about this when I chose this last week. We all got stuff going on, whether it's with work or personal, that there's challenges. There's things that we're walking through that is something that's maybe private to us or something that's a little bit more out there in the public view. But what an awesome thing. No matter what's going on, keep moving forward. And eventually, whatever valley, whatever area, or whatever you're going through, there is another side to it. And I think as our role as financial planners and our role as working with our clients, this is really key. Keep moving forward, whatever it takes. And I love this quote. I think it's a great way to start off the second quarter of 2025. So with that, let's look at the calendar coming up right after this meeting. Jump AI demo. The feedback from our advisors across the whole field, the whole ecosystem here at IFG has been very positive about Jump, that it can do things that maybe Zox didn't do. And also its integration, I think, especially with WealthBox, has been definitely a highlight for a lot of people. But we're going to do a demo that anybody's welcome to jump on. I'm sure we'll record it. But if you are interested in using Jump or already using it, definitely jump on that. No pun intended. Didn't mean to say that. Sorry about that. But jump on it right after this meeting. HR advisor training. That's going to be on April 10th and April 29th. These are kind of thank you for coming to this mandatory meeting. If you can be there, definitely be there. It will be recorded. But Karen Cook Thomas has worked really hard with our vendor co-advantage on this training, and it's becoming more and more important in today's world from an HR perspective. So definitely attend that. I'm really looking forward to it. The May monthly consortium briefing is going to be Tuesday, May 13th, 10 a.m. And focus. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, but Maroon 5 is going to be the band plan. So that's a pretty good reason to go to Focus this year, definitely for that last night there. And then we're going to have our dinner. It's already set up at Lou and Mickey's. Awesome restaurant. If you haven't been before, we have a lot of fun, and it's just a great location, great food, and a great environment for us to spend time together. And then finally, IFG annual retreat, January 15th to 17th at the Westin Atlanta Perimeter. Go ahead and put it on your calendars. Just a quick comment about that. Our advisory boards are amazing. These people, your peers, give a lot of time, and their feedback on the retreat that we had in January and ideas for next year were really amazing and a lot for us to build off of really early in the year. So we're really excited about the direction that's going. So that's it for your calendars. Consortium news. I believe we have some April birthdays. Look at all these people having birthdays. Yes, let's see here. Got a couple tomorrow. Definitely reach out to your peers. Tell them happy birthday. Another trip around the sun. And it looks like Patricia and Michelle tomorrow, and then Jenna and Mike Irvin later this week with more to follow. So reach out to your peers. Say happy birthday to them. All right, a couple comments on, obviously you guys probably saw the news, really kind of leaked on Friday and on Monday that LPL is going to acquire Commonwealth Financial. Commonwealth Financial's approximately or just under 3,000 advisors. The plan is for them to really, for LPL, not just to acquire the advisors, but the service team, some of the executive management, for them to kind of maintain their own little ecosystem and remain Commonwealth for a period of time. Their goal is to limit as much as they possibly can the impact to us and our everyday business. We're going to keep watching it. We got a call first thing on Monday morning from the executive team at LPL, sharing the news with us, and obviously want to make sure that we're aware of it. So as we learn more, we will definitely share that with you. I think the important thing is we emphasize the issues in the past when they've acquired other firms and the impact to us operating our daily business, which is a good segue into the next one. LPL service and technology. There's really no excuse for what happened last week on Thursday with ClientWorks. Obviously, you had a major day in the market, downward, negative. And for ClientWorks not to be working, you saw the apology from LPL. They are obviously feel bad about it, but it's something that I think is really important for you all to know what we do, but kind of behind the scenes. Andrews and Hayes on our advisor development team do an amazing job of taking your escalations, your issues. And as far as I know, and I believe we're the only firm that does this, we have a weekly call with LPL to go through those issues, to go through what's going on, ensuring that nothing falls through the cracks. Again, I encourage you, if you're facing some issues, bumping your head up against a ceiling or a wall, to reach out to Hayes and Andrews. The more we know about them, the more we can track it and really communicate to LPL what they're doing well, but also where they need a lot of help. And obviously technology, that was a big deal last week. They're aware of it. We're hoping to see improvements with some new technology, some new infrastructure that they're hopefully going to put in this next 12 to 18 months, but more to come on that. But we're aware of the issues you guys are facing, but please share with us if you're running into things. The most important thing for you all is to be working with your clients and helping your clients. Let us take those issues off your hands. We are tracking them and working closely with LPL to get them resolved for you. So a lot going on there, more to come. And obviously we're on top of it as well. All right, WealthBox. We've had a bunch of teams join WealthBox, other people considering it, and sent out a survey. And the survey came back with kind of, all over the place as far as what people are looking for. And what we've done, and just got this set up just about 30 minutes ago, is we're going to have 3 training classes with the head of education from WealthBox. They're going to do a 101 class, the very basics, and we're going to get to you what's going to be in each one. But that's going to be on April 15th. That's a Tuesday at 4 p.m. The next one's going to be the following Tuesday. It's more of a 201, a little bit more advanced workflows. And then definitely getting using WealthBox to its fullest will be like this 301 class on April 29th. For each of these, we will record them and hold on to them so that we can share with people down the road if they wish to make the change to WealthBox. And then going forward from there, really working with them for individual questions, individual things that might need some little additional handholding. We want to make sure that's available to you in our partnership with WealthBox. So put those on your calendar. If you can be there, that's great. If not, they will be recorded and we will get those out to you as well. So that's WealthBox. They're working with us and more to come there as well. So I'm gonna give this another shot. One of the things that we can't do is send an email to everybody and just have emails flying back and forth that doesn't pertain to everybody. And if you are on LinkedIn, there's a group and we can give you access. It's a private group just with IFG advisors and some IFG staff as well, that you can actually put out questions to people. And Laura, I don't know if you're able to pull up and give them a quick view of it. So there is IFG Ask. If you scroll down, poor Temp Davis has actually put questions out there and they just sat there for months with nobody responding to poor Temp. But this is a place that's secure. It's archived, it's compliance approved. And I think we're up to 60 something, 70 something members. You can get a notification if there's something on there. But right now, we don't really have a good avenue for just a chat room. We could use Facebook. We tried that. That didn't really work. Not everybody's on Facebook, but we do have a lot of people on LinkedIn. If you want to go on this, just type in IFG Ask, join the group. We will give you rights to it. And I encourage y'all to use this. It's a much better avenue than emails going out to everybody. And so I think this is a good place, it's a good opportunity. So we're going to try it one more time, or maybe one more time after this, for hopefully an area for you all to have conversations, ask questions. As always, you can reach out to us, reach out to Andrews and Hayes directly, and they can act as kind of a honeybee to try to figure out, get you the right person within the consortium to help you out with your questions. So IFG Ask, we'll let you into it. Let's hope this takes off from here and actually used as a good way for us to communicate with each other. So I've talked a lot. I'm going to stop right now and turn it over to a business development update with Cooper Welch. Cooper.
All right, thanks, Land. Yeah, good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all again. Just a quick business development update. So, yes, we're going to remind you all about the referral program. So we've had a good year already, but we're always looking to find a few more folks to speak with about what IFG can do for them. So if you wouldn't mind sending your referrals over to me, and we'll take great care of them. It's going to be a really good experience for them. But the incentive there, and that's a good segue for what we'll talk about next, is we'll pay 2% on their GDC to you up to $20,000. So it's a really good incentive for you to bring people to us. It's a generous program, and we think it works out great. And there have been a lot of people who have taken advantage of that, both last year and this year already. So that is a great point out to Natchez Wealth, who just got their referral check for referring Bain Nichols to us. Bain's been a great advisor for us already out in Mississippi. Really excited to have this team on board with us. But yeah, he just got his referral check, I guess in the mail. I don't know. We probably do it by wire now. It's probably fancier than that. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, Land also wanted me to get a comically large check to show for Natchez Wealth. I couldn't get it on short notice, but I do promise in the future, with advance notice, I will have comically large checks for people.
I had about 15 in his office. Oh, they're all filled out.
But yes, comically large checks are incoming, but I need referrals to make that happen. So just a little back and forth. So that's it for BD. Just send your referrals over to me at cwelch at infingroup.com. And other than that, hope Q2 goes well.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Cooper. And yes, we do send, I think there's something special about going to the mailbox and seeing a handwritten note with a check in it. So that is on its way to Natchez Wealth Management and Keith Smith. And Cooper's right. We do absolutely take care of anybody you refer to us. Oftentimes they're not the right fit for us, but we are adamant in helping them get to the right spot, whether that's with LPL or another broker dealer, or just really staying where they are, and do a really good job of taking care of them. So feel free, comfortable to refer anybody to us. Compliance update, Crystal Epstein.
Good morning. Oh, looks like my camera's not working. New computer. Always have some issues with that. All right, so let's get started. The first point we have today is protecting client PII. This is always a hot topic. Your clients trust that their information is secure with you, and just through different branch exams, email review, word of mouth, we just find that sometimes maybe because it's more convenient or you're not understanding of the policies, that you are putting your client's PII at risk. So let me ask you, how would you feel if you had to go to your clients and say, your information has been compromised because of something that I've done? I don't think you would like that very much, and I don't think your client would either. So let's try to avoid that. So we're going to go over a few ways to secure your client's PII. The first way is through a secure email. Very easy. You have an Outlook add-on that you can put secure send. You can type in secure in the subject line. So make sure you're doing that. Sometimes the system does, Proofpoint does catch it and will secure the info or encrypt it as it's going out if it can catch the PII in there. But make sure you're doing that. If a client needs to send you something that needs to be secure, maybe it's some statements, account numbers, whatever it is, send them a secure email first. Let them know it's coming and to communicate back and forth through that. And if they do send you something without you knowing, maybe it's an account number, a social security number, something of the sort, delete it whenever you're replying back to them. So let's make sure that first and foremost is always secure, their information over email. The next way is if you're providing their information, statements, anything about their accounts to a third party, make sure you get their consent by a form, signing the form that LPL has. I don't have that form number in front of me, but we should all be very aware of that form. That is something that we find on branch exams as a deficiency. So that's really important. Even if it's just word of mouth, hey, will you provide this to my CPA? No, we need something that they're signing, that they are allowing you to send that information. Because in 5 years, if something happened to their information with that CPA or whoever you're sending it to, and you don't have anything signed, that's really something on you, and that could be harmful for you and your business. Clean desk policy. This is a no-brainer. Make sure that client information is not just sitting out on your desk. If you're leaving for the night, put everything away. Put it in a locked desk, drawer, whatever it is, shred it, make sure that nothing is out. We have cleaning crew. You may have whoever going through your office. Make sure it's secure, even if you're at home, that information is locked away. Another thing, confirming move money request and trade request. This is not client PII, but it's client's information that can be hacked and can do harm to the client if somebody has gotten that information requesting money or trading. So to make sure that you are always contacting the client by phone for anything that they are requesting. And again, when you're working remotely, you have secure Wi-Fi, you're using a VPN, you're not leaving client information around, you are aware of who is around you while you're talking about clients' information. So these are some ways to just keep it secure. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Again, we don't want to have to tell our clients that we don't know our policies or trying to take shortcuts because, whatever, and that their information is compromised. The next item is 529 policy updates by LPL. So as you may know, the SEC is constantly on LPL's backs about something, looking into their policies, their processes, and something that's come out of a recent visit from the SEC is 529 plans. They are recommending or suggesting that LPL no longer defaults to A shares for beneficiaries under 12, which is a complete reverse of the recommendation in 2021. So things are always changing, kind of keeping us on our toes. So as a result of that, they will be updating their policies and procedures for 529 to A shares and C shares. Don't have all the information on that, but that will soon be coming out. Another recommendation was to create stronger 529 controls to comply with Reg BI. Reg BI is always in the spotlight. It's on the SEC's 2025 list of things to focus on. So they're going to be enhancing the out-of-state section of the 529 checklist, that which we're all aware of. Probably more documentation on why it's in the client's best interest, but more to come on that. But just to be aware that if you deal with 529 plans, that there's going to be some changes coming your way. Always fun, isn't it? Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. That's it for compliance.
All right, thank you, Crystal. And because I wrote it down on my agenda here, we're going to take a little break from the agenda, and I want to introduce some new people. I think this is really exciting. Griffin Smith joined us up in Winston-Salem. This is Mickey Smith's son, and this is the third generation of family working at IFG. If you didn't know, Leroy Smith was there originally, and then Mickey, his son, has been running the business for a long time now, and now Griffin has joined his dad. As I actually got a chance to be up there with him last week, but we're excited to have that. As far as I know, I think this might be the first time we have 3 generations as part of IFG. So welcome, Griffin Smith. Also, Eric Murray has joined Healy Wealth Management along with Yana Lunger. And both of them are in the Atlanta office right next to our trading department. And Eric is going to be doing paraplanning. Awesome guy. Really enjoyed getting a chance to know him. And then Ayana as well is going to be more on the operations side. So welcome them to IFG as well and to Healy Wealth Management. And so I know we have some other people in the hopper for the next month or two that we'll get a chance to introduce to everybody. So a little break, got to have a little fun, after compliance. So now we'll switch it over to operations and HR, and that's going to be Laura Stone today.
That's me. Good morning, everyone. So just a reminder, we've been getting a lot of emails asking for other consortium members' email addresses. We just want to remind you that in your Outlook, you go to your address book, you should have access to everyone in the consortium's emails. So if you just search someone's name first or last, you should be able to find them and just easily pop them into your email and send it on its way. Instead of having to either go to the hub or reach out to us, it's readily available in your address book in Outlook. Second, our annual roll call. Every year, operations reaches out asking for if you have an update on your office address or your home address. This year, we're going to require everyone to send your home address and your emergency contact number, whether it's your cell phone or your home address. We're doing an audit on our database, and we just want to make sure that we have everybody's information. People have moved. Sometimes we don't get notified. So we're going to send that out next week. So we just want everyone to be aware that that's coming out, and we're requiring everyone to send in their information. Thirdly on the list, Windows 11 mandatory upgrade. So Windows 11 probably came out, I believe, last year. And at the beginning, we told everyone not to update because that was something that Emerald recommended. They had to work out all their bugs. Now Windows 10 is expiring as of the end of October. So if you get that message on your computer to upgrade to Windows 11, please go ahead and do so because Windows 10 is no longer supported after October. If you have any questions on that, if you need assistance on Windows 11, reach out to us and we'll put in a ticket with Emerald and have them do the upgrade for you. Lastly, summer intern reminder. It's that season where our summer interns are coming into the office. IFG already has ours. We're super excited to have him start in May. But if you are doing a summer intern, please reach out to Karen Cook and I, letting us know that you are doing a summer intern. That way we can get them onboarded, but we also need to know for regulatory reasons. So just reach out, let us know that you're either thinking of getting one or you are getting one. So we can make sure that he or she, that they are onboarded in a timely manner. Just to be aware that there are a lot of summer interns not only joining us, but at LPL. So it does take about 2 weeks to get summer interns onboarded. So just keep that in mind when you are hiring a summer intern, that it will take at least 2 weeks to get them onboarded and approved because of that time frame. And that's what, just based in past experience, that's what we've seen as a trend. So that is all for operations. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Laura. And just a little trick with summer interns. I think it's the best way to update your SOPs or standard operating procedures. Just have them sit next to you and tell them what you're doing, have them type it up, and then you can just tweak it. And same thing if you have, existing ones, having them update them is just a great thing, not just for you and your business, but a great way for them to learn as well. So thank you, Laura. Advisor Solutions Update with Bryce Silver.
Morning. So with Investment Solutions, we've got a few upcoming meetings. One, the investment committee meeting will be next Tuesday at 3 p.m. to review the new dimensions models. Then we've got our quarterly updates from Invesco, Alpha, and DFA. So those are all going to be on the last week of April, the first week of May, and the second week of May on, I believe each one's on Thursday at 11. And it's a good way to hear from the managers when they come in. They give updates on the models, the markets. I'm sure tariffs are going to be something that's discussed that they normally throw in current events. And, try and give you usable things that you can take back to your clients and talking points as well as updates on the models. So it's not just focused on the models themselves, but that is a portion of it. Before we move on to ASAP, I also want to congratulate Javal for passing a 7. He's not in the room right now. Javal. If you do see him, congratulate him. We're really excited for that. And then Peyton and him are currently racing to the 66. So, and then for ASAP, so we've got the assistance best practice coming up on April 17th. IFG is the idea of the brain trust and getting together to share knowledge. And this is just another good example of it. For this month or for this meeting, the plan is to present interesting and unique situations and like case studies. And so an example of that would be retitling individual and joint accounts to trust accounts while retaining account number and other features on the account. It's a mouthful, but situations like that, and just other one-off situations, Greg and Carmen are going to be reviewing those, and the idea is to have an open discussion where you can get together and just share what you know about one-off situations. The Q2 Office Professionals Town Hall is going to be April 24th. This is a LPL, driven meeting. It is, you can go register for it by searching for Office Professionals Town Hall in the Resource Center and sign up. I've gotten good feedback from this about how it can just help you out and expand your knowledge. And again, hearing from LPL on that. And then the third update is insurance appointment requests through ACT. So advisors can now request new appointments for some carriers for insurance directly through the advisor profile in the advisor compliance tool. So this gets rid of some of the paperwork that's necessary and kind of streamlines it. And the carriers are currently Allianz, Athene, Jackson, Lincoln, Prudential, Reliance Standard, and Transamerica. And then LPL is working to add some more carriers, but just keep your eye out for more information on that. And let us know if you have any questions on any of this.
Awesome. Bryce, if I'm one of those new people here and want to know what ACT stands for ACT, what does that stand for?
The Advisor Compliance Tool.
Perfect. Awesome. Lots of acronyms in our business. Thank you, Bryce. Next update with Jason Bokina on marketing.
Good morning. A couple things to share. First, a short article that really digs into your homepage, the messaging, and just making that first impression. I mean, according to the article, people are spending less than, not seconds, but milliseconds on your website to make a decision. And they also cite 75% of web users are assessing the credibility purely based on the design. So really cool article, short. If you've got questions, get through it, please reach out. I can help kind of talk through any of that. And then the second thing, we are building a career page on the IFG website. This is a mock-up, near completed. And the cool thing is we're going to be able to put any open positions for any consortium member out there on the career page. So it'll be all branded specifically to you and your team and also directed to you. So we should, we're going to have this live next week. So if there's open positions that you've got as far as administrative service advisors, please reach out to me so we can start filling this up. But I just wanted to share that with everybody. That's the next part of the IFG website that we've been working on. That's marketing.
Yeah, if I can add to that real quick, Jason, what we're going to ask for is a job summary and a job description that can be loaded up into this. Our hope is that we can help you, whether you are hiring for administrative role, paraplanner, associate advisor, whatever that might be, that we'll be able to push these out via social media, links to our websites. And also, I just think it helps us, if you're talking to somebody and you're with Blue Heron up in Annapolis, Maryland, seeing that there's positions open there's positions open in Georgia, there's positions opened in Mississippi. I think that helps us as a firm just from a scale and perception as well. So great work on that. So job summary, a contact person, and a job description to get up on the career page. And I definitely get those out to Jason Bokina. So thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. And then if you get a chance, go to our homepage on IFG's website. We added some videos to it. And some great looks at a lot of our IFG consortium members on the front page there. And we have a couple of those that will rotate out throughout the year. So excited about that. So next we'll switch over LPL update and practice management with Andrews Brown.
Good morning. Quick note on the job descriptions. We have a library of them for anybody that may be interested, so you don't have to create one yourself. It's a great way. Your peers have shared ones that they have used, so it's a great way to expedite that process. I will also mention ChatGPT can put together a job description. If you give it the right prompts, we can help you with the prompts. So it's putting a job description. It does not need to be as daunting as it sounds, especially with technology and the support of our library. So please let either me or Hayes know if we can help you with the job description. And then an ask is also, if you put a job description together that you're willing to share with your peers, please send that to us once it's completed so that we can continue to build our library. Sorry, that was on the job description. So moving on, for LPL, cover the new assets. Lan highlighted some of the incredible personal performances so far in Q1 in terms of the percentages of targets. So now we'll take a look at the overall for Q1 for existing advisors. It's 281 million in new AUM, which overall is 41% of the targets of the target that you all set collectively for this year. So off to a fantastic start. I looked back at the last 2 years. 2024 was 211 million and 2023 was 241 million, just by comparison. Obviously, an important number in all of this is the net new assets to really determine what AUM is staying within your businesses. And that is generally around 40%. If I look year over year, meaning 60% of the equivalent new AUM actually leaves through distributions or your clients buying houses, asking for money. So about 40% stays. So just a number, every practice is different, but just to give you a sense of what that looks like. Moving on to practice management. Many of you may be familiar with Duncan McPherson of Pareto Systems. I happen to listen to this podcast. He has a podcast that he does. A lot of people have them. It's called Always On, and this one is with Bill Cates. Bill is quite a industry icon in terms of having the referral/introduction conversation with your clients. It's about 55 minutes. It really stresses the importance of confidence in language and having that. I would encourage everybody to go back and listen to it, especially for younger people. A couple things I pulled out is Bill has this formula where it's process and practice equals confidence, and confidence plus action equals results. And those are really the inputs that lead to your clients when you're asking, making introductions to you, and really shifting the value away from you and making it more about the value that you add to your clients. So oftentimes we don't want to ask, for us, but it's that confidence. It's not about me. It's about the value that I add to clients. And then one thing I'm going to start using in our conversations, they say don't use COIs for centers of influence. They use VAST acronym. It stands for Value Added Support Team, which I thought was a great way of really enhancing what CPAs and attorneys come in to do, support you as the lead in the financial planning process. So it's a great podcast. I'd recommend it for everybody, from Duncan McPherson and Bill Cates. Two quick articles to share. The first one is for all of my fellow control enthusiasts out there. Delegating can be a challenge. Often we are the obstacle to it and we self-sabotage. It has to do with a whole bunch of different reasons. Control, maybe trust issues, maybe not knowing how to do it. But the important thing that this article highlights is it is a skill that we can learn. We just have to be intentional about it and be smart about it in terms of getting the things that we should not be doing to the people that should be doing them to free up the time for us to do what we should be doing. And then finally, this is a great article from Horse's Mouth. Really, it's about the power of our voices in the telephone. A lot of us, for convenience reasons, get away from it. We look at videos, we look at email, we can hit many more people with one send than we can by picking up the telephone. But really, the power of our voice as both a lifeline and then to the ability to reassure and to calm our clients, whether it's something they're going through in their lives personally, and certainly with market volatility. And when we don't have the distractions of images on a video call and we have to listen, we pick up on so many different things that are nuanced that we may miss when we're distracted by either our own picture in a Zoom call or somebody else's. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Lan.
Yeah, really good stuff. I do encourage that podcast. I actually listened to it this morning. It gives some really good language. to use and agree that all of us should jump on it, especially younger folks building their confidence to give you some of these words, I think is really powerful. So thanks for that, Andrews. Next, IFG podcast, wealth management and advisory, Don Patrick.
Hey, so a couple of great new podcasts. We actually have 22 now, but episode 20 is with Brian Quinn and episode 21 with Karen Lee. They're both fantastic. Both of them give some pretty good lessons in terms of how they achieve referrals. And additionally, Brian Quinn bought L. Searcy's practice. And so you get a lot of good advice in terms of how they made an extremely successful transition. I think they lost one client. That was it. And again, for younger folks, you should listen to all these. But I'm telling you, I learned from every one of these podcasts. It's amazing. They're great. And we've added something now where you can look at various topics of the podcast. So if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, you can actually go to, 5 minutes and 30 seconds in and hear this, or 8 minutes or 20 minutes in and go right to it. Wealth management. So I'm always looking for things to, one, change up our progress review meetings so they're not so stale, and was something extremely important. And digital assets is just a big deal. And actually, I would highly encourage having this conversation. First of all, read through this article and having these conversations with your clients. You can actually put provisions in your will and understanding how you can turn off a Facebook or a Google, all these things. And even the fact that, let's say you provide your passwords and all this to various sites where there's a bank account. In some cases, it's illegal. So I would highly encourage you to get proficient at this and working with your clients to get up to date with these kinds of things. This is a big issue. And if you've ever been an executor, it's a nightmare to begin with. In terms of advisory, comments on the economy and the markets. I heard something's been going on in the last week or so. I don't know. And the one hand, it's same old. The market's going crazy today, up. I don't think I have a whole lot to add. I sent out a little video yesterday. We can have the whole conversations about tariffs and free trade, and it doesn't matter what we think or believe. And it's like I said in the video yesterday, just common sense things with our clients. And I've added pieces in here which I'm not a fan of with clients. Market volatility slide library, tariffs and what it means, and that's all logical in the head. And with our clients, it's down the gut. It's how they feel and empathizing with them. And just common sense thing, a 60-40 portfolio, you got $1 million, you're taking 40,000 out a year. They have 10 years of dry powder to wait for the markets to recover. And, most of us lived through 08, and that was a dramatic market decline, almost 50%. And yet it started recovering in a year and a half. The markets always tend to recover in a year and a half in the last 150 years. So it's noise. CNBC, Fox Business, whatever it is, they got to get clicks. They got to get headlines. It is financial pornography, and that's what I tell my clients all the time. If you want to watch it, fine. CNBC is like watching a tennis match. They'll have one expert on says this. Hour later, they have another expert on says this. It's all crazy stuff. The good news about this, I mean, if you remember in 2020 with COVID, I mean, nobody knew anything about anything. That was crazy in this pandemic. The good news about this, it's man-made. It too shall pass. And that's it. I'm done.
That's Don, share what John Collins said with you about your video.
Oh, yeah. So John doesn't have the sense of humor at all, of course, but he said, damn, I could have saved my, I don't know how much he paid for Nick Murray, $5,500 I could have saved. You should have sent this out earlier.
That's great. No, thanks for that video. It was awesome. And your insights are always great. So, hey, we're out here for you. Questions you have. We get a lot of things sent to us by advisors that we can share with you, but it's anything you're dealing with, struggling with, reach out to us, reach out to a peer. We are here for you. So that's it for the monthly consortium briefing. We'll see you in May. Stay strong out there. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, keep moving forward no matter what you do, and grateful for each of you. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Karen Cook Thomas for an Atlanta office update. Everybody take care.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. We have two short announcements from Atlanta. So I'm sorry for the boys still having that little allergy thing going on. So we have, as you know, we can buzz you in from the front door if you have forgotten your fob. Well, in the past, when we buzz you in from the inside, there would be a little beep. Now, since we got an upgrade on our system, there's no beep. It's very silent. So we buzz you in and you don't know, and you're either running to the door or you're standing there waiting for that beep. Just know that just watch the little green light on the buzz and on the little door things here. Scanner, that's what it is. So once, because we'll buzz you in, so just watch that. It turns green and open the door. Because many times you're standing there and we're saying to you, it's open, and you don't know. So that's just a new little trick. There's no more noise. It's silent. Just
Karen, are you having to announce this because you've had several people break their wrists trying to get in before they were buzzed in?
No, they just stood in the lobby and waited, and all three of us are buzzing you in. It's very funny, you know, we have a little camera, so we're looking at him like, and we're trying to tell you. So just know that we're no longer going to have any humor at your expense. So just open the green thing on the scanner. Secondly, so we have been making some announcements about Emerald and always just trying to tweak how we service you, especially through our vendors. So one great announcement that we want to let you know that we have arranged with Emerald for Byron to be here once per week. So he's going to be physically in the office. We have arranged for it to be on Tuesdays, but of course it can change because this week he's going to be here on Wednesday. But normally he's going to be here on Tuesday. So any issues that you have, any tickets that you put in, we're compiling them and we're handing him a list every Tuesday morning. He will either sit here in a conference room or somewhere else. He will come around and physically take care of your issue. So if it is non-urgent, then just know that it will wait for the next week, the next Tuesday that he's here. Of course, if it's an emergency and we have to get you up and going, he will come out before then, or we will get you in touch with them. Also, we want to just ask, when you're putting in your request to the IFG operations mailbox, kind of give us a priority scale or kind of give us a little description of what the issue is so we can determine how urgent it is. So we don't want you to have something urgent and you're waiting and we're waiting until Tuesday when Byron comes in. So if you have a blue screen, let us know that so we know we got to get on it. But if it's something where, you know, whatever that non-emergency thing is, it will wait until the next Tuesday when he's here. Just a little note here, because you see Byron walking around, just don't think that you can grab him and have him work on an issue that's not important to us.
I'll offer the sandwich.
Yeah, I can imagine you doing that. No, we still have to have a track of this. So please, even if the day off and you see him, and even if you mention it to him and he's going to be nice enough to stop and do it, please let us know that you did that so we can put it in our system. And that takes me to this little thing that you're looking at the screen now. So we're tracking this, and each month Yolanda is compiling our ticket requests so that we can have this nice little chart. And remember that these are one of the reasons why we're asking you to go through us, not just because we want to be in control, but because we want to track how the ticket, we want to track resolution, we want to track, how he's responding. We want to see what the trends are with the type of tickets that you're putting in. So when we have our conversations with Emerald, we know what the direction for that conversation. Each year we have Daryl comes in and we have a meeting with him and compliance, and we go over all of these issues. So this is the report that we got from March. And you can see there we had how many came in?
22.
22 came in and 19 was resolved. We have 3 unresolved. And it just gives us an idea of exactly how we're taking care of these tickets, how quickly, and what those resolutions look like. So we will, from time to time each month, we will give you an idea of how we're tracking so that you can see how well or not so well the service is being provided to us. And know that this is something that we even look at when we're looking at other vendors, because as good as Emerald is, we're not really tied to the hips for any vendor. As long as they, if there's something better out there, if there's better service, but if they're doing well, then we're going to keep them. But we also use this information to help us have those conversations, because a lot of times, well, we don't know what we don't know. So this will help us to have conversations with other vendors as well if we need to start looking elsewhere to improve our services. So this is what we got for you. We are asking you just to continue to do what you do, continue to work with us, partner with us, so that we can give you the service that you need and that we want to give. All right, that's it from us. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, well, did you have any questions?
I have a question.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So, 2 things. I had a work order and they investigated, said something was trying to attack my computer. And they told me they're working on it and don't worry about it. And it's safe, whatever's trying to attack my computer. So it's still happening. I'm just wondering if anybody else is getting it. No, just me.
So you're having like these notices
Pop up that says a duplicate IP, and it could be something malicious trying to attack.
I'm getting that as well, Cindy. This is Jessica Callahan.
Okay, did you report that to us as well, Jessica?
I sent an email to operations a couple months ago about it, just saying this has popped up. Is there an issue? Yeah, something about a duplicate IP has been identified on the network. And then I guess I'm not sure if I was just told not to worry about it or what, but it is still happening.
Okay.
It doesn't happen to me at home. It only happens here.
Yeah, in the office. Me too.
Okay, but thank you for that, definitely.
So the second thing I think everybody's getting, I know David is, any emails we get have this banner that says this is from the outside.
Yes.
So is that gonna, is it gonna continue?
It's new, right?
It's new, and it's coming from LPL server. So
It's a new Microsoft update.
yeah. So we have no control over that. Yeah.
Okay. So when
we should have put out a notice, but it just came up with us as well. But yeah.
All right. So if it's from a client and we reply, should we leave that on there, or should I? I mean, I guess it shows the client that we've got this.
Yeah, I
would for protection.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see the harm in leaving it. I can find out.
I guess it's just letting you know this is an external email versus an internal.
Internal, yes.
I guess if it's coming from a LPL address, it's not.
It's internal.
It's internal, yeah. I mean, you can take it off. We can find out. You have.
Yeah, we did speak to the client about it, and also Andrews, and yeah, it's part of their update. So since you got informing, knowing that it's okay to transact, it's not anything we can control.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, David.
Ever since this, I guess LPL knew about it, but if we're using Outlook on your computer instead of the web-based, right? It's causing me to relog in 4 or 5 times a day, right? Raise your hand if that's happening to you, right? And so anyway, they said they fixed it, but it's not. And a lot of times it's not letting me relog in. I actually have to close it out completely, shut down and reinstitute to make my Outlook work.
I don't know what I used to have, and I called them and they got on my computer, just did like 4 or 5 times. And finally, some guy, I don't know his name, wish I did, fixed it. So I don't get it.
LPL,
Yeah,
LPL or,
when I dial the 800 number.
okay.
So
Good.
Byron can also look into this because Byron and LPL have worked together on trying to figure this out. So if you are having this issue, let us know, so that Byron can come to your computer tomorrow when he's in the office. And
There's this whole Tuesday.
there's, that's why he's here.
Yeah.
So reach out to operations, let us know that you're having this issue, and we'll put you on the list for Byron to work on when he's in the office tomorrow. But so with Moreland, what Byron was doing didn't work. So it was an LPL issue and he had to get in touch with LPL. But 9 times out of 10, Byron can fix this issue because of what he has learned from LPL.
Yeah, and since he should be quickly because he is doing it, he knows exactly what to do once he has done a couple of them. So yes.
So let him fix 3 or 4 other computers first and then turn in my.
He already has.
Down on the list.
Yeah.
And great news. Have you guys noticed anything throughout this meeting?
Oh, jinx it.
The computer has gone down. Yeah. So we finally found out what the problem was. We needed a new computer. So we changed our computers and turned out the computer and
Just turn it off and back on. That always works.
That didn't work.
Changing the the projector, everything, but we just needed a new computer. So yeah, no more of those embarrassing moments.
We noticed that. We got a bill for it.
Yeah. So I didn't have to make the announcement, right? We're enjoying. All right, any other questions? Okay, well, have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thank you so much.
What about Jump?
So Jump is on Alex. I'm gonna butcher his last name, Wines. He has joined us from Jump and he will start his presentation now. Alex, if you want to unmute your mic, I will give you co-host capabilities so that you can share your screen.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Right, should be all set.
Yep, I got it. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Is this coming through okay?
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, cool. I appreciate you guys letting me in on your Tuesday morning meeting here. My name is Alex Weens. I'm an enterprise account executive over here at Jump. I'll take us through a demo today and just a few slides. I'm pretty new to Jump. I joined in December, but funny enough, I was like the 25th hire at Jump in December. We've got over 70 employees now, so it's just been growing like gangbusters. Before Jump, I was at Riskalyze or Nitrogen, if you guys are familiar, as the 25th employee there too. So it was an early hire. I've spent my whole career helping advisors make the most out of software in their business. But really excited to walk through Jump today. It's my understanding that Zox was a pretty popular option within the firm for a little while until LPL had only approved Jump. So, I'll tell you that I highly encourage anybody that was a Zox user to give Jump a try. And we do have a free trial for 2 weeks for you to run that. But I'll take us through the demo today. I don't think there's too many people on here if Q&A is okay. Otherwise, I'm happy to take questions offline for anybody that has any. So Jump is an AI assistant for financial advisors, and we specifically help with meeting related admin work. Some of the things that we heard from firms when we were putting Jump together was, hey, I want to show up prepared for client meetings. I don't want to have to thumb through my Redtail or my Wealthbox or my Salesforce or my handwritten notes to figure out what's important for this meeting. And more importantly, when I'm in the meeting, I want to be 100% present with my clients. I really don't want them looking at the top of my head as I'm jotting stuff down, or just like trying to fill my brain up with all the stuff that I'm just going to throw up into the CRM as soon as the meeting is over. At the same time, it's a really tough balance for advisors. You've got to have, on one hand,
great notes. As you guys well know, we're in a regulated industry. And on the other hand, you want to look somebody in the eyes as you're investing their life savings. So it's every firm's gotta deal with this balance in some way. And then lastly, it is just a huge time suck. Prepping for meetings, sending out the emails, taking all the notes, putting it in a CRM, setting up tasks in your CRM. It's about 50 minutes per meeting. It's about a third of an advisor's day is spent around meetings. And firms have tried solving for this by hiring people, describe that meeting for them so that they can stay focused, but then that other person is just absolutely, bombarded with so much work to do the same thing. Some firms have tried dictation services like CopyTalk or Mobile Assistant, but that still requires you, it only saves you time on typing. It doesn't save you any time from, actually taking the notes. And then more recently, we've seen firms try things like generic AI, like a Fathom or a Zoom or a Fireflies. And typically the feedback we get there is, hey, it's definitely a step in the right direction, but they're not advisor quality notes. It still takes quite a bit of massaging of those outputs to get it to be, advisor quality where you feel good about putting it into your CRM. So that is why Jump exists. We want to cut meeting admin time down by 90% while still elevating the client and advisor experience. Simply put, it's really good notes, probably way better notes than you probably take in way less time. We are made for advisors. It's our only customer base. We're very easy to set up, and I'll go through some of that setup in today's demo. And we're customizable. Customizability is really one of the pillars of our business. So what I'm going to show you today is all of our out-of-the-box formats. But if you have a note format, an email format, a pre-meeting prep agenda format that you'd prefer to use, we can adopt that. We are secure and compliant. I'll go through some of the things that LPL specifically did to Jump, some of the configurations that they made that would trickle down to you guys. And we work with your software. So whether you're using Zoom, soon Teams will be approved by LPL as well. If you're doing in-person meetings, we can capture that meeting and help you spit it into Salesforce, Redtail, Wealthbox, Practify, really any of the major CRM systems. I know that within LPL, we're the only approved vendor, but outside of LPL, it is a bit of a competitive space. Again, I know many firms here have probably at least looked at Zox. We are considered to be the market leader. We've won a bunch of awards, but what's more important than the trophies we have on the shelf is what our advisors say about us. Jack Senge said that what used to be 40 minutes is now done in 3 or 4 minutes. Using Jump is dreamy. And Josh Brown said that it's his favorite thing he's seen so far, and that AI note taking is the most obvious killer app for our industry. So what I'll do is I'll take us through the product, and then, like I said, if we can, let's do some Q&A. One of the things that we can help with is pre-meeting prep. So Jump will integrate with your calendar. It also integrates with your CRM. So if we see that you've got Pedro Lopez on the calendar coming up, we're actually going to go and scrape as much data from your CRM on Pedro in advance of the meeting so that you can be ready for it without having to, again, go through all that stuff yourself. Again, this is our out-of-the-box template, but in this case, it's grabbing things like client goals, what matters to them, upcoming life events, how the last meeting went. I will tell you that an advisor favorite is suggested conversation starters. So if Pedro told you at last meeting that he's taking his kids to Disneyland, it's going to suggest to you that you ask how that trip went. Those sorts of really nice personal things that get the meeting off on the right note. Again, I would encourage you to not take that out because people really, really like that. You can also use pre-meeting prep to generate an agenda for the meeting that you can send to the client in advance. And you can also configure when this happens. I think by default, it's 24 hours. I've got some advisors that are getting this a week in advance so they can really prep for it. I got some guys that are getting this 10 minutes before the meeting. So it's really your call. And you can also generate it on demand. But the down the fairway use case of Jump is to join a Zoom meeting, again, soon be Teams meeting, an in-person meeting where most advisors are using our iPhone or Android app to capture that. But we just take the notes for you, and they are advisor quality notes. So in this example, just to set your barometer, I pretended to be an advisor with my friend Alex Underwood. We're both named Alex, so a little confusing. But I pretended to be an advisor for 7 minutes and 4 seconds. So it gets a little bit more lengthy and detailed with a real longer meeting. And it starts off with a more of a narrative discussion of how that meeting went, beginning to end. And then it's going to look for things like, all right, what was personally important to him? What are his goals and values? What life events did we discuss? What's his family look like? What Q&A did we go through? What recommendations did I share? Did we discuss service and fees? I actually didn't in this meeting, but it still called that out for me that it wasn't discussed. Outcomes, next steps, client to-dos. Usually firms really like how we capture and list financial planning data in a table, as well as anything that might affect your recommendation from a fiduciary or suitability standpoint. So again, this is an untouched note that Jump generated off of a 7-minute meeting. Typically, the next step for an advisor would be to edit this, because we don't want to just assume that everything that the AI wrote is exactly what you want to put into the CRM. Everything you see can be edited. You can add, subtract from it. You can bold, italicize. It's a rich text editor. Even the tables can be edited, so you can get in there and make this note look exactly as you like. From here, once you're happy with that note, you hit review and sync. You tie it to the right record or records. So maybe if it's like a husband and wife, you want to tie it to both people within Redtail or Wealthbox or Salesforce or whatever, and hit the sync button. This is also bare bones of what we can do. We can push to a bunch of different fields if you prefer us to do that. But the standard configuration out of the box is tying a note to a contact or tying a note to an event. We also do tasks. So Jump is, capturing that conversation, and it identifies any open activities that you discuss. So off of that 7-minute meeting, there's 2 open activities. One is to analyze their financial statements. The other one is to schedule a follow-up meeting. And so Jump created the due date, the title, the description, who it's assigned to within my org. So if I had, my wife's name is Leah, and let's, pretend that she's my administrative assistant, right? I could say, hey, Leah's going to follow up with you on that. It would find Leah from my Redtail or Wealthbox dropdown list. All I've got to do as the user here is scan this, make sure it looks good, change priorities or edit the description or whatever I want to do here, tie it to that same record within my CRM, and hit the sync button. Lastly is our emails. So we can write your follow-up email for you. You can edit it right in line, but you can also just copy this and paste it in your, wherever you're sending your emails from. This is probably the most commonly customized piece of Jump. We're not going to assume that every advisor wants the exact same voice when they're reaching out to their clients or prospects. So we can adopt whatever format you'd prefer here. But in this example, I've got the current situation, goals, how I can help, and next steps already written for me. Again, I can edit this to how I like, copy, paste, send. So what normally is, 45 minutes to an hour of work of just starting from scratch and taking all those notes or taking what you hand wrote from the meeting and then getting it into the CRM is down to a couple of minutes where you're just editing, adding your spice, and then getting it out into the CRM. Some of the other things that we can do, one is we have multiple meeting types. So we know that your intro meeting or discovery meeting with a client is probably very different than, say, a client meeting where you've known them for years and years. The follow-up email is going to be a little bit shorter, more bullet pointy, typically. You can also have the system reprocess the note. So I got a great story for this one. I've got an advisor, this is probably about a month and a half ago now, where he was using Jump, and he's a movie guy. He loves Marvel movies, and his favorite client also loves Marvel movies. So out of an hour-long meeting that they had scheduled, the first 45 minutes was they were just talking movies. And he had explained to me, he said, Alex, I thought Jump was just going to write me a whole meeting note about Marvel movies, and that's all I was going to get. But in the last 15 minutes, they got to talking business, and that's what we captured. There was a couple of sentences like, oh, you spoke about movies at length, and it was like 1 or 2 sentences long. But then really we have prompted Jump to be a financial advisor's assistant. We're really good at cutting away the fluff and focusing on the things that matter from, your perspective as a financial advisor. That said, he actually wanted more of the meat of the first part of the conversation. So he went back to additional instructions and actually said, hey, give me, 2 full paragraphs about the movie discussion that we had. and he just reprocessed the meeting and it just redid the whole thing with his additional instructions. So you can always give it another go. One of my favorite things to demo from Jump is our Ask Anything feature. So let's say you had a back-to-back day. You did 4 or 5 meetings back to back. You haven't even got into Jump just yet. You're at the end of your day. You're about to go sync all these notes to your CRM, and you're going through your notes, and you see this. It says Alex describes himself as risk averse, and you're like, man, I don't remember that part of the conversation. Maybe Jump misheard it. Maybe I'm getting meetings mixed up in my head, but this doesn't seem like this client. I need an explanation of why Jump took this note. If you highlight anything and you hit explain, it's actually going to bring you to our Ask Anything feature where it shows you exactly what the client said. So of why it took that note. So it's really showing you the source material of where it pulled that from. You can see that I did this yesterday for, hey, family and legacy are important to Alex. Like, what did he say that made Jump take that note? And he said, hey, if our son had kids, like we want to be able to be the grandparents that bring gifts and pay for college and buy them their first car. I want to know that I'm leaving an account for kids or grandkids or whatever, right? So what's really cool is you can see that. And if you click on the link here, it actually brings you back to that part of the meeting. So if it's a Zoom meeting, you'll see the audio and the video. If it's an in-person meeting, we've captured the audio. You can hear it back. You can also read through the transcript if you like. Now, quick asterisk there. One of the major configurations that LPL has done with Jump is that meeting, the audio, the video, and the transcript is only available for 7 days post-meeting. So that means reprocessing the note. That means seeing the video. That means using this Ask Anything feature. It's only available for a week. But that said, most advisors are getting in there the day of, next day, and going through and creating those notes. What that does not mean, though, is that these meeting notes still do stay in there. You just can't reprocess them. So there's no ticking time bomb on the notes that are created. Those are still going to be in Jump and ready for you whenever you're ready for them. You just can't use the meeting itself. Lastly is analytics. So we can track for things like sentiment, talk time, keyword tracking. So if there's things that you want to look for, or if you want to coach yourself to maybe not talk so much over the client, that sort of stuff, we can run those analytics. And then I'll leave you with, I think, my tip of using Jump, since I use this every day in my role, is I live and die by the needs action tab. So the needs action tab is going to show me any meeting that I've had recently where I have not completed all the actions. I have not sent the email yet. I have not synced the note to my CRM, and I have not synced the task to my CRM. So ideally, this page is blank because I've done all the work. But the whole purpose of Jump is really to be a drafting board, right? We want to get the email out. We want to get the note into the CRM, and we want to get the tasks into the CRM. All this stuff lives somewhere else as a record. We just help you create it, and we help you, get that time down pretty significantly. So I'll end by running back over to these slides. We've got a couple of, I already did all of this. Here we go. Just a couple of case studies. One, we did do a phased rollout to LPL. First phase of advisors reported 1 to 2 hours of time savings per day. If you liken that back to hiring, and say, an admin, somebody described that meeting at $25 an hour, that at a minimum is $13,000 a year saved. And then, of course, we proceeded to launch with LPL to all of their advisors. That 23,000 advisor number is definitely too low. And then we've also seen a huge increase in production. So we had a large RIA purchase Jump for half of their advisors during their busy season last year. And there was a 50% increase in deliverables. So not only did they get it done faster, they got more done, because it's human nature to procrastinate the stuff that you really don't want to do. Like, this is pretty mindless note-taking, email sending, task setting. If you can do it in a couple clicks, it's a lot easier to not procrastinate. And 2, it's a lot easier to get back to stuff that it helps you grow your business. And that's about it. I'm going to go right back here to end on this. We do have a page that if you're interested, I will get this link out to you. I sent it over to Dana Wilson last night, but you can sign up for Jump. There is a 20% discount that is part of being under the LPL umbrella. So this is annual pricing, but really it's $960 a year for Jump, less than $1,000, and we're saving you an hour or two per day. So hopefully you can see the value there in the ROI. We also have a 2-week free trial, so you can sign up for a free trial by clicking the green button in the top right. But that's what I've got today. I'm happy to answer any questions if time allows.
This is Jessica. Can you hear me okay?
I got you, Jessica.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I just wanted to just hop on here. I've actually been using Jump. Our team and I have been using Jump for the last 60 days. And I just want to say that if y'all are blown away by this demo, you should be, because the software is amazing and we absolutely love it. I will just tell you it used to take me a couple hours to, prep and then also recap all the notes, add all the tasks, do the F450. The software it blows away Zox, it blows away Zoom, any other AI note taker. It's just awesome. So I wanted to say that, and no, Jump is not paying me for those comments. They're just, I just really want to share it because it is really great. I did want to say real quick, I learned some new things on this, on your meeting today. I think my team, we've got 3 seats and we're paying over $300 for it. So when you say we have special pricing, how do we get this special IFG pricing if we're already using Jump?
Yeah, if you just email me, alex@jumpapp.com. I'm more than happy to look into it. Yeah.
Sounds good. And Alex,
Yeah.
just real quick, the pre-meeting prep, that's the one feature I haven't been able to get working because it pulls notes from our CRM. But the issue that I'm having is it'll say like, it'll pull notes from like a meeting from 4 or 5 years ago. So like it'll say, ask the wife how her knee surgery went. And I'm like, she had knee surgery. And I looked and she had knee surgery in like 2022, but it's pulling
Interesting.
those old notes. And do you know anything about how they're going to button that up? Maybe only pull the last 12 months of data from the CRM?
Yeah, so I can tell you that pre-meeting prep, there's been a lot of work being done on it so that you do have more control of like what is being, I guess, captured or seen. I will tell you that a lot of times when we see old notes taken, it's because there's just not a lot of new stuff for us to go grab. And so, the interesting thing about pre-meeting prep is the first time around with it sometimes isn't the greatest. The second time around with it is always really good because Jump took great notes last time, super detailed. So you know what I mean? So it's like,
exactly.
It's I don't want to say garbage in, garbage out, you know what I mean? But like it's doing its best with what it sees the first time, and the second time it's like feeding itself.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
Well, it's great. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, happy to help with your billing issue. Just shoot me an email. And checks in the mail too, Jessica. Any other questions? I know that actually real quick because Jessica said the F450. We actually already have a simple what's the word I want to use? Automation that we've built in that we can just add to anybody that wants it. This F450 form, so that we can fill things out like financial status, risk tolerance, time horizon. And there's like you got to fill out 4 out of 8 things on the F450. So we are looking for things that were discussed along, to be in line with the F450, so that anybody that's filling this out can really go in here and copy and paste stuff. So we're again aiming to save you some time there too. Ideally, what we want to do is actually help you fill the form out. So that is something that Jump is focused on too, is being able to read forms that are attached in, say, Redtail or Wealthbox or something, but also fill forms. So know that this is something that we're focused on. The only other thing I want to make sure I highlight for anybody that is interested is getting up and running is really, really easy. Like it is in your face the first time that you log in. It's going to ask you to integrate your calendar, integrate your CRM, how you want to integrate, like where you want the notes to go, and it's going to ask you to integrate Zoom if you use Zoom. If you somehow get around that, which is pretty rare, you just run over here to get started, and it just walks you through exactly the steps to take to be set up. So I'm more than happy to hop in there. Usually when I'm hopping in to help firms, with any issues. It's just like a calendar integration where we just delete it and set it back up and boom, it starts working. But very, very, very simple to start using Jump, where once you got your calendar integrated, it's going to start showing up to Zoom meetings and doing all the work for you.
I have a question. This is Cindy Skaggs.
Awesome. Hey, Cindy.
There were 3 different levels of the pricing. What was the difference in those?
Yeah, great question. Let me head back over there. So ramping is our lowest tier. Actually, I'm going to run over to the pricing here. So this is not going to be the same pricing, but does let me show you the features. Ramping, it's basically for anybody that does, I would say, 5 to 10, maybe 12 meetings a month, where you're getting 60 AI output. So that's the only tier that we have that has limitations to it. An AI output is the note is 1, the email is 2, the task would be 3 in this example. If I reprocessed this, that would be 6 total. So firms that are doing around 10-ish meetings per month are hitting their head on usage on the ramping tier. It also does not allow for any additional seats. Like if you're part of a team, it doesn't connect to anything. Most firms, most advisors, and most of our users are signed up for Core. It does allow you to add additional seats. It does allow you to add, say, admin access. And with the LPL discount, it gets you down to $80 a month paid annually or $96 a month paid monthly. And then scale is for teams, I would say, of 5 minimum, probably closer to 10. And scale is going to give you team analytics and then more control. So if like, for instance, some firms that like there's a parent firm and then child accounts that do their own DBAs, and you want to be able to like let them do their own thing, but also brand is their own thing, but they're still under your umbrella. That's what you'd use scale for. There's also functionality in reports on like meeting types, hours saved, sign-ins, outputs. Like you get the more of an oversight with the scale tier.
Thank you.
Yep, that helpful, Cindy?
Yes.
Cool.
So Alex, this is Laura. I am not a financial advisor, and I'm actually in the operations department. Are we able to use this even though we are not financial advisors? I know that it breaks down into different topics that obviously we don't cover, but will it just show up as a broad meeting note? What does that look like for someone who is in operations?
Yeah, so the AI is pretty good at picking up what type of meeting it is without even having to choose it. And most of the time when someone in operations is using Jump, it's internal type meetings, which we have one for you right here. It's internal team meeting. And so it's going to do a great job of finding, note taking what happened and also finding action items so that you can just copy and paste those notes out too. We have tons of operations, C-suite, leadership that are never using it with clients and only using it internally.
Perfect. And then my next question is because we are in operations HR, is there a way when we do start a Zoom meeting and it's an HR meeting that doesn't need to be recorded and we don't want Jump to record them, is there a way to stop it? What does that process look like?
Yeah, so if I'm going to stop my share so that the Zoom thing comes back up, but you see down in the participants, so Jump is a participant in this meeting. So if you had already let Jump in this example, you could just go to your participants list and just remove Jump as a participant, which would then stop the recording. Or if you just want to make sure that Jump just doesn't show up in the first place, there is a toggle that we can set on our side. And it's also one of the onboarding questions that it asks you of, do you want Jump to land in the waiting room of Zoom, or do you want it to skip the waiting room and join every time? These are a lot of preferences you can set. Lastly, and I don't have a great demo for this, but you'll be able to see all of your upcoming meetings. I don't have any in my demo account here, but you would be able to toggle off the note taker for an upcoming HR meeting. So it just didn't show up at all in the first place.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
So Alex,
No
that
problem.
feature does work well. The one issue that we've had is like we had a client join a Zoom meeting an hour early.
Yeah.
and it didn't understand like, oh, the Zoom meeting has started, I need to jump in. And so it didn't jump in until like the actual time that the meeting was scheduled.
Yep.
So and then also sometimes we schedule last minute Zoom meetings. A client says, hey,
Yep.
can you hop on a Zoom real quick? How do we add Jump to it when we don't see it in there?
Yeah, in both of those examples, you can go to new meeting and then there's send note taker to meeting option. So you just go grab the Zoom URL and then just paste it there and then just give it like 30 seconds and it'll show up.
Very cool. Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
I knew there was an easy way to do it. I just didn't know how.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you really don't know until until you go and actually need to know how to do it. But glad you asked the question.
Can you walk through those instructions again? You go to Zoom meetings?
No, so let's in Jessica's two examples. So first example was the meeting started early, and so Jump is by default just following the calendar. So it's just going to show up when the meeting was supposed to start anyway. And then the second example she had was like, oh, this is just like an ad hoc, unscheduled Zoom meeting. In both of those examples, you want Jump to show up and still do the note-taking job. So you come up here to new meeting in the top left, and then there's an option here that says, and then there's an option that says send note taker to meeting. And then it'll prompt you to put the URL in the meeting. So in the case of Zoom, I would go to the participants list and there's a little caret that says copy invite link. So I just hit that and then paste that here.
And I see you can also do the join my phone call because sometimes we have last minute phone calls too.
So that is a feature that Jump has currently, but it is not yet approved by LPL. But it is we're talking to LPL every 2 weeks. So there are things that we're working on kind of behind the scenes to unlock for LPL use.
Okay.
Yep.
So Alex, it's me again, Laura. For in-person meetings, I saw that you could just go up to new meeting, but how is it recorded? Is it via app? Is it on my laptop and I open Jump? How does that work?
Yeah, so you can record like with the app. So right now I'm logged into jumpapp.com into my own account, right? So you could capture the meeting now, and if you've got a microphone connected to your laptop, you could just record that meeting right there. Most firms will use our iPhone or Android app that you just log into Jump and then record using your phone because the microphones on phones nowadays are really good. I was at Future Proof in Miami a couple of weeks ago, and if you guys are familiar with that conference, it's like a tent full of people, like 2,500 people or something like that, and it's super loud. I took my phone out of the pocket, I recorded my conversation with an advisor. It got everything, took the notes perfectly. So yeah, it's usually less invasive to take your phone out of your pocket, but it's totally your call. I do have some firms that are using like like a Zoom room sort of conferencey microphone type thing too to record. As long as you can get it into Jump, it'll work.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Cindy, again, what are the rules of getting the client approval to record the meeting?
Yeah, so technically it's a state by state law, right? Of recording, whether it's a one party or two party consent state. That said, just about every firm we're working with asks to ask consent to record. In the case of Zoom, we consider it passive consent in the fact that there is a little thing that they have to click on that says okay to being recorded. I can see the integrated financial group note taker in here. So if you guys can see that too, there's like it says on there the meeting is being recorded for note taking. And it also plays an audio when it joins. So there's 3 things for the case of Zoom that happens that we consider it to be passive consent, and the fact that the client should pretty well know that the meeting is being recorded and that they can ask to have it be removed. In the case of phone calls and in-person meetings, phone calls will play an audio as well. And in-person meetings, as soon as you hit the recording button, it will prompt you to say, hey, don't forget to ask for consent before recording. So we give you a reminder, but at the same time, we're not policing it per se.
One question here. This is Brian Quinn. You mentioned that it can take tasks and automatically put those, I guess, in our CRM.
Yep. Yes.
I mean, would that be, so I have a meeting and I have to change, a beneficiary for a client I meet with, for Mr. So-and-so, and that's going to be ideally like a red tail workflow for me. would
Yeah,
that
yeah.
automatically populate, or am I going in there and tagging? Yeah, Jessica, you're nodding your head.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. So in my case, mine's a wealth box, but it's the exact same flow. So what I did, just going back here, you see follow-up tasks here, Brian. If I click
Yep.
sync to wealth box, it shows me the two that I discussed. And if you said, hey, we're going to change your beneficiary, that's going to show up as one of these activities. What's really cool is you can change any task to a workflow right here. And then it's just going to work off the templates that are already in your CRM. So I'm sure you've got one in there that's called, update beneficiary or something along those lines. You just choose it from the drop down and it'll kick that workflow off straight from jump.
I have to make a joke. Sometimes it actually adds, well, not sometimes, it adds tasks better than I do it. I mean, it really does. Like, it'll put more detail in the task. It'll select the type of task. It's very smart. It's awesome.
Robots are out to get us.
I've got a question to kind of build off of tasks. So we've got Wealthbox at the moment, and we've created a lot of task templates in order to really kind of optimize that. Is there any capability to use task templates and Jump together?
Yeah, yes, it is not productized yet. We're actually working to do that as well because there's a lot of firms that task templates or activity templates, as some firms call them. You would work with our customization team, Spencer, to be able to basically for us to prompt the task creation to follow a specific format. So it is doable, but we would need to work with you. We have a customization team where their calendar is available. I mean, you could find time almost any day to meet with them, and you just give us your task templates and you give us like a week or two to put them in there, and you're off to the races. The only other asterisk I'll add there is that that's the one thing that we can't support during a free trial is doing customizations to Jump. That's you got to be a paid user on that one. But even when you sign up for Jump, there's a 90-day opt-out on our contract, so you can always cancel if you end up hating it. But we hope you don't.
Yeah, so we've been using it for a couple months now. So is that something that we'd have that capability now to reach out to that
Yeah,
customization?
totally. Yep. Email me, alex@jumpapp.com. I will send back the customization link. I wish it was like something easy I could just rattle off to you, but I've got the link handy for you.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yep, no problem. Any other questions? I know we're coming up on time.
For now, I think because of time, we're gonna cap, but Alex, thank you so much for your time. This has been very resourceful. Everyone who's on, I will send out that partners page for signing up or just doing the free trial. And then if there's any other information, I'll also have Alex's email in that email as well. But thank you for your time, Alex. This is very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. All right. Have a good day. Talk to you soon.